As promised, we're coming live to do the twin flame update. I do need to adjust the camera a little bit. And I did mention I'm going to be on camera if the camera decides to adjust. I love technology. I literally was mentioning this on a different person's video. They were covering the transits. I won't name the name of the beautiful astrologer. And all that was mentioned, it was so glitchy. It was like 2024 was referenced. And, the context of the energy update was there. But unfortunately, this individual was mentioning 2024. And we've all been, kind of in that notion, especially when we move into a new year. It's almost like we can have some glitches. And I did make mention of the fact that, it's almost like at the moment with Pluto in Capricorn, we're actually getting slight energies of a Mercury frequency because of it being very close to moving into Aquarius by the time we reach January. So forgive me for the technological glitches. We're not quite in Mercury retrograde yet, but we're having those effects. Now, I have pulled the cards for Divine Masculine for December 2023. Let's get the year right. And we can have a lot of subjects that are coming up that are really transformative. Now, I'm going to sit just for a moment to tune into the cards, and then we're going to tuck into the channeled messages. There's some crap going on here. Okay, these individuals are real. It's almost like spiritually, I see them feeling as though they're looking at life and they're saying, what am I fighting for? Sometimes this can be us taking things personal. Sometimes it's a circumstance that they're trying to get themselves out of, but they're coming up as the Five of Wands. Okay, it feels as though they're trying to get out of this spiritual kind of stagnation. I also feel spiritually, the energy could be a little bit sensitive. Misunderstandings are possible. This could be something that past tense occurred and it's kind of, moving into the December energy, and it's really wanting to get beyond those misunderstandings. This also can be reflecting back to a potential conversation that the both of you had in the past. And this doesn't have to be the most recent past. This could be the distant past, but it's definitely something that is weighing on their minds. For some of you, this could have happened in a home. For some of you also, they are looking at the reference of where they thought they were going to be in their life. They are thinking very seriously about life. They're coming through very, very traditional. This could be anything down to marriage, to, leaving legacies and inheritances, but it's coming through very traditional. It's almost like they feel like the weight of the world's on their shoulders. This does spiritually feel as though it's almost ticking a box in their ascension path. It's like a commitment that they've given to their soul to level up to a degree, and it's something that they wanted to achieve at a point in their life. And I do really believe as we're moving into December, we could be getting that Jupiter energy. And I feel spiritually these individuals, especially coming through with the cards, they're looking to complete certain cycles, but also to take it the distance. This is a very serious notion they're looking at. They are coming up as an emperor. And I firmly do believe energy is fluid, so whenever you land on this video, it is going to be relevant to you in your journey. Many times, those that directly follow me, they do look back at 2017, depending on where you are in the journey. And those videos also can resonate with you. But what I'm saying here with this circumstance is this person is going through a very rapid change. They're wanting to wrap things up and make very firm, solid plans for the future. This also can be a time when they're, especially if they're in a karmic relationship, I do directly feel there's a little bit of protective energy. I don't feel it's like being protective towards this individual. It's almost being private towards the circumstance and really looking at the reasons, why they chose this connection and if it's even relevant to them at this point in time. And it is moving to the past position. Definitely very, very serious. For some, I do feel they had a notion of where they would be with you. I also feel there is frustration to do with not picking a path at a certain point in time and knowing that ultimately this is where they would end up. It's almost like they're not going to let it go till they find a solution. Yeah, this is something that's weighing very heavy on their mind. They're going to work their way out of this circumstance. So it doesn't feel they're working their way away from you. It feels they're working their way towards the goal. Come rain, hail, or shine. That's almost how it's coming through. They're going to work through that. They're like, I'm going to work out how I'm going to get out of Dodge, how I can liberate myself, and I can bring all of this full circle. They don't want to have to wait till January, but they know also it's pending regardless. So whatever major energy I'm psychically picking up in January, it feels as though they also intuitively are picking up on it, and they've got a timestamp in their life. They're like, well and truly before that occurs, moving into 2024, there's certain things they want to achieve, and that gives it a very limited window. However, in their minds, it's not negotiable. It's something that really needs to be addressed prior to 2024. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, yeah, they're definitely keeping something close to their chest. There's something that's going on that they might not be sharing with you, especially those of you who are in communication, but it's almost like they're having an honest moment with themselves. They know the goal, they know where they're going, but they also feel, especially linking to divine feminine, that feminine has seen this poker face energy for a while, and feminine's wanting more movement. So those of you, especially, those of you that aren't in communication, they're picking up on it intuitively. I'm hearing the term how I show up. How I show up is going to count. Divine feminine in the mix here could have this is the way they're viewing the situation, that there's trust issues within this connection. There also could be a little bit of wariness. It doesn't necessarily mean you don't trust them, but it just feels wary energy. DM has picked up on this. If there is a blockage they're not wanting to discuss, I feel they're doing it internally, and I feel when they're ready and that they're balanced within their feelings of what they see, I feel that, balance will come. But it does feel, especially for those of you that have been in communication, I especially feel if conversation's gone down, they're sort of really mulling over what you've said. This will also resonate with those of you in non-communication, because I feel it's relating to the intuition, the 5D, the oversoul communicating with each other. Yeah, it's foundational. It's definitely foundational. It's almost like if there has been some criticism or some critiquing or a viewpoint and a value system being reevaluated in the circumstance, it feels as though the map is changing, in order to move forward. To a degree, it's almost like whatever this change in plans is, whatever this drop of a hat is coming up, I feel a lot of it they wanted to complete in November, but they weren't able to. So it's like they're spiritually going backwards to go forwards, but there's a frustration to do with it, especially when I'm getting this card, the Nine of Cups. Certain cards are really giving me synchronistic messages, and this has been this year in particular. This card is really giving me a timestamp. So generally, psychically, when I'm getting it, what I'm seeing is Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It's that, celebration season. It's the funny season. They're making reference to a previous event. This could have been a birthday. It could have been Thanksgiving, and linking to forward events. Moreover, Christmas, New Year's. There's something of a pressure point coming, and there is this boiling point. There is this needing to move and needing to rush and having the chariot wanting to come in towards you. This person does have a lot of passion and chemistry for you. They don't want you, sometimes we can take that very personal. It's almost like, yeah, we don't want it to just be that. But this person does have attraction to you. This person is very attracted to you, regardless of what you think about yourself. They do have this passion. They do have this chemistry. There could be a little bit of defensiveness at this point, but I feel ultimately this is a past tense frequency, and this is something where they're wanting to come in. This also could be a physical apology. Divine Feminine, they're also making reference to, with this connection, there's going to be some transparency. I feel Divine Feminine's going to pick up on this. I feel there's some transparency that is going to be required. So they are well aware that an opening up is going to be required in the mix of this circumstance. This could be getting down to the crux, having some conversation pieces, but there's some apprehension here. But I'm hearing the term freedom to speak, like wanting to be able to speak quite candidly, wondering how you're going to take what they need to tell you, wondering if you'll directly believe them. Also, wounds relating to the past because of some behavioural energy or delays that you've experienced with this circumstance. DM in the mix here is actually physically feeling that they do need to be quite leveled up when approaching you, and they do need to be open-minded because there's going to be questions at hand. And I'm definitely seeing some questions cropping up. Okay, for some of you could be hearing that this person is single. Some of you, when you hear this, it can be that it does happen very quickly, and it just, it may surprise you more than it surprises the person who's leaving the circumstance. There's definitely been some dramas with family. They're getting out of their head about that. There was something that they had to return to in a circumstance with the tribe. They feel that they're becoming more open-minded with their perspective of it. But they're also not getting up in their heads about the past to do with this tribal situation. Some may have been asking for money. This also could be a karmic situation. Some are really questioning the faithfulness towards a venture. Could be a status, but I'm feeling it's almost like a job. We have the Emperor here. But this commitment towards Divine Feminine is definitely here. And again, I just keep getting this energy of needing to leave a situation behind to be ultimately ready for the circumstance. Okay, what does this change plans, please? I feel it's coming in suddenly. I feel if you felt that you've been quite compartmentalized, I feel that this person is going to change their approach. Some of you have been feeling this person has friend basketed you. Some of you also are trying to keep this quite civil. emotionally speaking. Some of you can be getting gossip through a friend. They're having a revelation that they were trying to make everyone happy, and I feel they're coming to terms with that now. I feel they realise that that can be at times really giving their power away. And there are some journeys that they feel are coming to a close, and some that they're moving, um, in a totally different direction. But again, I do see the map really linking to divine feminine. They do emotionally feel, some may have come in prematurely. Some also had concerns about a past individual. There's old jealousy that's cropping up. But I feel they also know that that is in the past. And nothing can truly be taken that is truly yours. They also feel that a lot of what they were potentially having on offer was portionately a connection, but portionately protective of themselves. So it's almost like, stepping forward, then retreating back. So they're aware of this, but they do know in order to have it, they need to be all in. This situation has been linked to a previous healing. This also could be linked to some stresses surrounding finances, or an individual that they were caring for that was unwell. I do feel because of that, they were holding space. They could have put their personal needs on hold. They also feel they can't wait any longer, regardless of whatever the outcome is. They're actually, can't say they're satisfied. I feel they inevitably know that situation will end on its own terms in the way it is meant to be. There is a person here that is not working with them. They also feel it is very important at this point in time to keep their cool and to proceed with caution. Some may have a set date to exit stage. Some also are coming towards you around a celebration season. This can be in the month of December or a physical date. This could be a birthday, an anniversary, and the anniversary can be of anything. But again, they're making reference to the silly season. A lot of them also are wanting to be more free within these kind of spiritual kind of times. To be part of a tribe, to be part of a connection, but also exiting one to be with another. So, when we say exit, doesn't have to be a physical karmic. It can be a memory of such, something that's held a person backwards. Can be physical paperwork that's being addressed, but I'm definitely seeing a spiritual freedom over necessarily a physical. Oh, Lord. They feel divine feminine has X-ray vision. They're wanting to see evidence. They feel that you want to see evidence of the value and if they're valued. Promises made right. I also feel a guide on the other side is aiding the circumstances. Could be a DNA member that transcended over. Divine feminine side, divine masculine side, but I directly feel it's tribal energy. Oh, I've had this message a few times, and I do keep getting the butterflies for the twin flame path. So I do feel both the combination of the flies and the butterflies. It's like, footings, foundations moving, old things happening very quickly, a little bit like Uranus and Taurus, but really happening, in a time where we don't have eclipses. It just feels very sudden. Hmm. I just keep getting the reference that they're tired of putting life on hold. They're really tired of it. They don't want, not necessarily do I feel it's an excuse, but it's when we feel to a degree we have a commitment to adhere to, a cycle to wrap up. I just get this person is really getting to the point they're fed up of how long it's taken, and they're really almost like they feel they have to jump in the deep end. They feel they're jumping and they're addressing something. I'm hearing the term knowing what divine feminine wants. I'm literally looking at this card at the moment as divine feminine. Divine feminine looking at the circumstance. They know it's the outcome, but they know that they can't pussyfoot around with you. They know that it's almost like because of the history that has happened between the both of you. At an intuitive level, you're clocked on. Divine feminine also in the mix of this is directly attracting something that is a lot higher in ascension. This is actually going to push this person through their ascension path a lot quicker, providing you can move into detachment. I will leave it at that. We will check in later with the divine feminine and the karmic third party. I will give those of you that are in the members a heads up through Discord. And those of you that are watching this later on YouTube, come join our YouTube membership. I have put a blog post up and it is covering all the changes that are happening with our YouTube. Take care and I'll see you next week.